Jeez, dude. That's a big phone.
Let's start this bitch.
We should just we shouldn't start to ask questions.
Welcome to the Glacier Podcast. Boy, ciao. You know, we got Peter out.
Boy, Dan.
Yeah.
He skipped like 10 classes.
Man's had coronavirus and came back.
Yo, COV.
Alright, that's staying there, basically, by the way. Like, that's...
We're not cutting that.
We're not cutting that one out, dude.
Alright, so on the topic of recreational,
It's community recreation.
This
guy over here.
Someone hand me a marker.
And youth.
I don't know what happened.
And youth, don't forget youth. What about you, okay?
Recreation in general, except for sports. We don't hear about that.
Wait, neither of you guys are doing sports?
What do you mean? He's doing sports.
I did like
working out,
fitness.
fitness in general.
Oh, okay.
So people do care about that.
We just care about fitness. Not
I
sports.
thought the thing tying us all together was that we were.
We're gonna cut this out so we don't sound
kids,
stupid,
you know what I
right?
mean?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Well, because you got Boy Scouts, which is kids. I got Boys and Girls Club, which is kids. I thought you two were doing.
Well,
that.
YMCA is just like a
It's
quick
like
organization.
changed when like adolescences.
Yeah, because community stuff like that.
I got
I don't want to sound like rapists. We're gonna cut that out too.
No, I'm gonna add that in of just you saying that.
Just that.
The whole podcast is me saying that.
Alright, so I feel like we shouldn't start with questions, but we just like start talking about like what we learned and stuff and what we found.
All right, yeah. Just introduce like what you did.
Yeah, so I want to just like start with you. And we just
Yeah, so I did Boy Scouts of America, which was founded in 1908. Which is a fun little fact. It started out with a British war hero. His name was Baden Powell. He survived a 217-day defense in South African War, and he wrote a military field manual for soldiers, which eventually became a book, which eventually brought in the younger audience of boys and girls, and they wanted to learn how to survive in the wilderness on their own. So he decided to make a organization out of it, and hence called Boy Scouts of America, where they use all their field knowledge to help the community out and to help themselves out by building leadership within themselves and yeah. So so have the Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts.
Alright, we got.
All right, I got Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
I don't know when it was founded because I didn't look that deep into it, but I'm pretty sure it was a while ago.
Yeah.
But it used to be just the Boys Club. I know that it was strictly a Boys Club, and they changed it at some point to Boys and Girls. That's what I want to go at.
So me and Daniel both did YMCA, but I did more of like the community recreation where he did like the fitness part of it, and like the YMCA is more like is about this idea of like providing the youth and just the community in general, or with a ability and affordable and accessible resource, being able to work out and like connect with each other, because they really believe their whole organization is founded on the idea that community recreation is what strengthens bonds between people, and it's what takes an individual and then makes a healthy choice within that individual, and then they can spread it to other people, and then makes a healthier community. So that's
So obviously, you just said what I basically.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But okay, about the fitness side, what is the fitness side of the YMCA?
Well, it's like
I mean,
how does it?
the two.
To differentiate two, it's kind of hard because the YMCA was based on, again, like for people in the community to have a healthier lifestyle. They want people to be healthy and live a healthier lifestyle and give them the opportunities and access to the equipment and all that to live a better healthy lifestyle. And so that's basically the fitness side. But overall, the YMCA just kind of envelopes everything and just wants the community to be better.
Okay.
And that's the point of the YMCA.
And then this is you know, you guys remember the younger the sports teams in the Y,
Oh yeah.
where it's ages, and then you go at different ages, and those are always fitness.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good start.
That's different fun kids in the
So
basketball
we just casual conversation, just talk back and forth.
Yeah.
Go through it.
How would you say that the Boys and Girls Club impacts the community?
Oh, how would I say? Okay, so I think that it makes a good difference. It depends on the community in general. I grew up in Rochester, and the one I attended actually, because I was going to school in Tumwater, was the Tumwater Boys and Girls Club.
Mm-hmm.
It gave my mom and my single mother, gave her an awfully cheaper resource to use during summer vacation or after school. I could go there. It was very inexpensive.
daycare.
Yeah, way way cheaper than a daycare that you know,
right,
or
yeah.
after school program, any other after school program, or trying to find some way to get me home before she's off work. In Rochester, they do a lot of, like, I had a lot of friends that volunteered there, and they do the same thing. It's just a lot smaller of a group because, you know, it's only a 2A school. They impact the community though because they offer, like I said, they offer inexpensive alternatives. During summer, they have activities that go places. You know, when I was in Tumwater, we went to parks all the time. You know, during summer, or not necessarily a field trip, but you know, like I remember going to the zoo one time. We went to Point Defiance. It's a lot of different things. I didn't necessarily find an article on everything that they did. You know what I mean, like that. But I did find a lot of articles on like, you know, helping kids in low income families or like low income area neighborhoods gaining like food insecurity. You know, trying to fix that. You know, teaching about nutrition, teaching things that schools don't necessarily teach. You know, stuff like that at a younger age, so that you learn really quick that what you need to do. And on top of all that, they feed you. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever, any of you ever went to the Boys and Girls Club, you know, they give you snacks. So like,
it was fun going there too.
It's a good time.
The field trips didn't feel like they were mandatory.
Yeah.
It was like two different groups. It's like if you want to go on a field trip, cool. If you don't, then it's basically like a normal day here. It's like there's activities to do.
And they do,
activities.
they do stuff outside during the summer, like you were saying. If one group's going to the zoo or something, you know, the other group stays behind. They're usually playing games. There's no like, and it's not like school. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a daycare where like when I was in daycare, I remember it was almost like school. You know, it was preschool, but like what I remember about it is like
Still
I hate
learning
this.
activities.
But at the Boys and Girls Club, it's all fun. You know what I mean? So you get to spend your whole day having fun until your parents pick you up and take you home.
You felt basically kind of like your own like teenager. Like you got to do whatever you want within a certain.
And when the people that often run it, at least in my experience, you know, they're not adults, you know what I mean, but they're also not too young. You know, they're about my age, you know, mid-20s or early mid-20s.
Right.
So they understand, you know, how it feels to be a young child or a kid, but they also know that, you know, they got to be responsible about it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit in the mix, and it's perfect. Like, you know, I just remember I never had one single complaint about attending the Boys and Girls Club when I was younger.
Yeah, pretty good. Always heard good things about it.
Did you have a?
I was gonna ask, but
you
you answered it. I was gonna ask, so what is the Boys and Girls Club? Because like I never did that as a kid.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so, you went to Timberline, right?
Yeah.
There's one in Lacey, so that's one, I got an article on one of those. I believe, if I remember right, I don't think I have an article necessarily on that, but I think Olympia was the first one to open up, or Lacey might have been for Boys and Girls Club in Thurston County. And they've slowly opened since. I think it went Lacey, Tumwater, Rochester. They opened one in Tenino, Olympia, obviously, which Olympia used to just go to the Tumwater one. And then they just recently this year, or last year, end of last year, you know, around October, they opened one in Yelm. But it's like, you could go there after school if you lived in the, you know, the area. Sometimes like in Rochester, you know, they had a bus that would come from the high school, or the middle school or the elementary school that would take you straight there. When I lived in, when I went to Tumwater, you know, I get out of school at 3:10 and like it's over by Tumwater High School, so I just walk there.
It's like in the parking lot almost.
Yeah.
It's like
And
property.
it's I don't remember paying a fee, but I'm pretty sure it's like $25 a month or something like that.
It's super.
For the
It's really affordable, huh?
For like the whole thing. Or
Yeah, for the whole thing. And when you're there, there's at least, so the one I again attended Tumwater. When you walk in, there's a little desk where you sign up. You're like, if you just go there with a friend right after school, you know, and you don't tell your parents about it for some reason, and you don't have money, they'll let you stay and hang out. And then when your parents come to pick you up, then usually start your membership. And they give you a little card. But like when I first walked in, you know, there's a little upstairs area that's quiet for reading. There's a little computer lab, which I think is also another cool part. That's where I learned how to use computers and like play Java games, you know.
I play computer games.
Yeah, and there's
math games, you know.
There's a lot of books. They really encourage like academic success and all kinds of stuff. And then also downstairs they have recreation, you know. So when you first walk in, go up the stairs, all that's up there. You go turn right to the right or to the left. There's like, I think there's 3 pool tables. There's 2 bumper pool tables, which is my favorite thing to do is bumper pool. Yeah, there's lockers in the back, and then You go a little bit farther in, there's a gym, and you can play basketball, And then when I stopped attending, I don't know, probably in like the 5th grade, they had just added another gym to the other side. So, and then also during when it's warm out, you go outside and there's a huge field, and they often do what was it, like capture the flag or two-hand touch football, all
You've done
kinds of
even
stuff.
water balloon fights and stuff.
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
During summertime.
Oh yeah.
During the summer events, because the summer, when you're there during the summer, it was a completely different vibe than when you were there for school.
Oh yeah, completely.
Because after school, you kind of get out and everyone's just kind of relaxing. But during summertime, you get there early. You get there 10.
Yeah,
9, 10
9,
o'clock.
10.
Different experience, right?
And you're usually there as long as
It's not
your
more
parents
that.
are at work.
It's no longer like the academic, but it's like
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. I want to.
Which is what I think is cool about it is that in one sense they push you to be academically successful,
Yeah,
and then on the other side they also offer recreation to
Mm-hmm.
give you better I don't want to say make friends, but it helps build relationships with people.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
still friends with people that I went to.
Absolutely.
I think that's
that I
important
attended.
because like you touched on this topic was this idea of how community recreation like Boys and Girls Club, they teach you social skills and like things in school you don't really learn a lot of stuff, you learn academically, so that's a lot of the focus,
Yeah.
but you don't learn a lot of stuff, the more just how to interact with each other. And
Right.
that's more of a thing that's
cliquey at
for
school.
friends. Yeah, exactly, right?
It's not
Yeah.
like,
It's not it doesn't teach you a lot about
yeah.
actually finding people that are
They're like you.
with you. Yeah,
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
like,
the Boys and
that's
Girls
such
Club,
an important part.
brings people together because of the activities that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
School just forces a connection.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
schools they plan activities, but they don't really plan activities around who wants to do what, right? Because there's
Yeah.
always you remember going to recess and there's always gonna be divided by groups,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you
these
can
people
see
go to the
the-
playgrounds, right?
you
These
can
people,
see the divide,
They play
yeah.
sports on the
Cliques.
field, and then there's people who just don't do anything. They just
Well,
sit at the garden or whatever because
and
that's how it
see,
divides.
That's another thing too, is that when I attended the Boys and Girls Club, you could see all those people just mixing into different groups.
Exactly.
Two people that you never see hang out at school are playing pool or something.
Yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah.
Two other people are sitting upstairs reading a book together, or in the computer lab playing on the computers, which again, let me just get back to that. That's still one of the coolest things.
Yeah.
I learned how to use PowerPoint, Word, Excel, it's all kinds of stuff when I was 10 years old.
Mhm.
I think it's important too,
And-
for kids who growing up. I feel if you want a kid to be the best version of themselves as they grow up, they should be allowed to have access to stuff
Oh,
like this.
absolutely.
Resources.
Yeah, resources. Not just resources, but this about friends and
Yeah, yeah.
just people skills.
It's just
stuff like that,
everything
right?
all around it is everything they can teach you, and it's not even necessarily that you're being taught. It's all just you're kind of thrown in there and you learn it yourself. But it's
Yeah.
they give you the the safe space to do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's good too because now in this day and age, kids are always on their phones or inside their houses now.
Yeah.
You don't really
Yeah.
see kids playing on
Yeah.
the street anymore.
That's
so this is a really good,
Yeah.
really good way for kids to interact with each other, get back into society, learn social skills, and be able to interact with other people.
Yeah.
Also keeps kids out of trouble too, because I was reading this one article about how it's proven that people are more likely to be social and stay out of trouble
Yeah.
and do good if they're in a group setting where other people are also doing the same thing.
And that's
Keep them out of school, out of school activities. If people aren't doing something, they'll take up their time by probably doing something bad if they want, and not realize it maybe at the time, but trespassing or just something stupid.
going out and doing something.
But when you're forced to be with other people that are your age that have the same interests as you do something fun.
Yeah, you focus more on your interests. You know what I mean, instead of the interest of someone that you're hanging out outside that's not part of that.
Yeah.
Or doing anything illegal.
Right, and even if it's something that you don't want to do, I remember doing a fundraiser for Boys and Girls Club so that we could go to Wild Waves.
Yeah.
And we were washing cars.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wash a freaking car by myself.
Yeah, right.
But when I get
I know, right?
When you got all your
other
friends
kids-
around you.
Yeah.
If I have a chance of scratching the car, then I'm gonna do it.
Right? But yeah, no, so stuff like that. It's just influences the kids to be a better person, make better decisions when they're not just bored and looking for something to do. Looking
That's
for
right. It's
attention.
important to for kids to have another outlet instead of just school. Because
Absolutely.
school is something that's it's school you have to do. It's
Exactly.
needed, right? And so a lot of the time, so kids don't always feel like they can just be themselves there because it's just something that's
or they dread going.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like
those clubs I couldn't wait to go.
Yeah, right.
I was up early in the morning, like, all right, let's go.
It's
like,
just a switch different, right?
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Or like, you know, you're at school and then it's like you're just counting down to the end of the day when you can get there, so you can have fun with your friends.
Yeah, attention spans out the ass.
Yeah, exactly, right? Well, I mean,
that if there's a negative to the place, that's the negative, is that you're sitting there watching the clock in school, not learning anything.
yeah,
so like,
because it's just an opportunity to like you want to learn, like you want to like you just want to be there, and because you want to be there, you want to do stuff, and you just want to like you know, be open to the possibilities of anything. Where going to school, you're just like, I'm here for 6 hours a day learning.
Right.
Well, and like before I went to the Boys and Girls Club, when I was younger than that, when I was about in like, I want to say 1st to 3rd grade, I did this thing called Y-Care through the YMCA. Two people from, you know, that were employed by the Y, they came to I went to Peter G. I don't know if you guys know where that's at. Just middle of Tumwater, over by Dairy Queen. They just remodeled it actually. But
nice over there.
so it was in the old gymnasium in there, and they had this little room. It's like a little closet basically, and they had all these like board games and like we would go outside and play on the playground and stuff like that. It was more oriented for younger children, but I thought that was cool that the YMCA also did the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as popular, you know what I mean? Like they did it at every other school too in the area. It was only elementary schools if I remember right. But so yeah, they would like, you know, they employ people to just go there and watch kids, you know, until the parents came up after school and get them. But that was through the Y. So speaking of the Y, let's lead in.
We go to the Y here.
Good segue.
Good
Yeah,
segue.
right.
I'm literally just like hearing you talk to this ear, and this guy's eating like a sandwich.
I know.
And I'm like, this guy. If I hear like this friggin', if I hear that lettuce like one more time, I'm gonna kill someone. I kind of also want to touch on this topic, like no matter like what organization it is, but this idea of like how just like community recreation within kids when they're younger, how it leads them to be a better person. Listen, Bill, I kind of touched on it earlier. I want to talk about what you guys' thoughts on that is, because like I feel like when younger in community recreation, being able to like hang together as like a whole group, it teaches you like positive behavior. You know how to be nice to each other, and get like and like not just like that, but like you know teach you how to respect each other. And that's something you should learn earlier instead of learning older. Like, because then you can make much more mistakes if you learn it older. But if you learn it younger, then you know it sets you up for success with other stuff. So I want to just talk to them.
Absolutely. Also, I feel like being involved with a team like that when you're young builds leadership skills and communication skills, and it makes you want to be just more active throughout your life. You know, because you start doing more sports, and then when you get into high school, you want to do more sports. Rather than just being, say, cooped up all day or
just drifting through.
Yeah. And then you don't really realize what you're missing out because it's like, I never played basketball
Exactly, right?
when I was younger. So
you learn what you love, right? And it gives you a voice too, right? I feel like a lot of days, like nowadays, it's easy for younger kids to feel like they just don't have a voice, and then they go through their school years feeling like they just like they don't know what to do. They don't know how to speak out about it. You know, exactly. And like that whole idea of like finding out who you are is like the most important thing, just growing up, right?
Yeah.
So if they can't find that, if they do it too late, then you know it can be such a negative impact in their life.
I did some sports through the YMCA. Like I did cross country once. I did basketball. And like you were saying, it really like I wasn't big into sports when I was a kid, but like by the time I got to high school, my first 2 years, same thing. I wasn't really into it. I did track in the 8th and 7th grade, and then like you know I kind of got those 2 years down of high school up until my sophomore year, and I was kind of like my junior year started, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pick it back up again. You know why not? Started playing basketball, soccer, and then I went all the way through varsity on my senior year, and that's pretty much where it was at. It's kind of like a mix of both, you know. Like I didn't think sports were gonna be for me, but then like I got in my junior year and I was like, you know what, I think I want to do it again. Like and it was because of you know And if I personally believe if I hadn't have ever done sports when I was a kid, you know, like I did sports I didn't like baseball, you know, and stuff like that. Even if I hadn't done those, you know, I don't think I would have wanted to do it by the time I was older. So I think it really gave me that, and like it also gave me a sense of like voice, like we were saying, you know, like I felt like in leadership, you know, I like to think when I was a kid, I like to think I was like team captain, you know, even though there wasn't really a team captain on you know, a YMCA basketball team.
This team to victory, you know?
No one really cared who won or lost, but I was like, oh, I put up 20 points, so
you know, like,
see me.
Like I'm D1 athlete.
Yeah. At the age of 6, you know.
Yeah. Even when it's like not a sport, that like even if because you do like all these sports like in these community recreation centers, and even if you just find out that you don't like a sport, I feel like you can find out that you like exercise. You know.
Yeah.
Like, for Daniel here, he loves like weightlifting, and so even if he doesn't really maybe enjoy all sports, he could with the weightlifting is a sport, and it's a it's a form of like keeping you fit.
It is an Olympic sport.
Yeah, exactly. So no matter what, you're gonna find something you enjoy, and you find out what you like and what you don't like, and then you can build on what you like.
That's like Briggs. That's like Briggs over here. I mean, I swear to God, when that YMCA opened, they have everything.
I know.
They got pools.
Right.
They got a gym. They got. I remember being a kid when they first opened. They got that little like indoor playground. They got the rock wall.
The rock wall. Yeah.
There's that little space in there too that has video games and stuff. It's crazy.
It's a facility that has like from any age. We're talking to like the youngest kid. Playground to like the oldest adult who's supposed to work out the gym. That's just like I feel like
or the old people in the jacuzzi.
Yeah, no matter what, right? There's something for like everyone.
Locker old people just in the
There's something for everyone.
I always thought
I respect that.
The one downtown was always super cool to me because they have that indoor gym and then they got the track going above the top of it. I always thought, I don't know why, but I always thought that was super cool. It just
indoor track? Oh fuck yeah, that's not a treadmill,
right? Yeah. And it's like raised above, and you can look down and see people playing basketball and stuff because it's just got it's. Awesome.
Oh, it was dope.
Yeah, it is dope.
Yeah,
Wish and then they got the pool. It's like it's below that, right?
It's like what made my childhood, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's dope though. The YMCA and like recreational things like the Boys and Girls Club or the Boy Scouts, they totally give you like a different experience, like a touch of reality. Because a lot of people are lost touch of reality.
Oh yeah.
Don't really.
And it gives you that like community resource, what we're talking about. That like you can put yourself out there, meet people, you can have fun, you can exercise, you can do all these different things. At any age too. Because like me and Daniel, we got both that are very oriented for children and kids. And then you two have like, what I'm saying you can do, kids can do it, adults can do it, people our age can do it, old people, like we were just talking about the jacuzzi, I mean, it's perfect for all ages, you know what I mean, and that helps with everything you can think of, like, gets you out, gets you moving, makes friends, you can do just about anything.
Yeah, okay.
I think you could take lessons too from like experience of at the YMCA. Again, you said there was like multiple ages, like from old people to like young people. When you meet those people, you get like you learn from their experiences, and they talk to you, and then that's how like you kind of start building like who you are and like what you kind of believe in, and what you might go by.
Shape yourself.
Exactly, I think that's a very important thing for kids these days is to like learn from more experiences and like
absolutely
gain some more knowledge.
Speaking of kids these days, they are a lot more tech savvy and more in front of a TV screen because that's what they're raised with, Cause
it's like this big. YouTube's so big now, and like streaming is so big now.
And TikTok.
Yeah. Oh my god. We won't get. We're not gonna get started on that one. We can like talk for that for like hours, and like all the.
And so like I feel like now these kind of community places for younger teens and stuff is more important than when we were teens.
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't play with computers and stuff a lot when I was younger. I don't know about you guys, but
no, I said only when I was at the Boys and Girls Club or like if we were learning something in school. I don't remember having a computer in my house until I was probably like 12, 13.
I had a computer, but I would only play like like Hooked on Phonics. Like, where in the world is
I mean, I was lucky enough like to I had like a laptop. It was like my dad's, but like I could play Minecraft on it when I was young. But then like now looking back, I think because of that, I was so addicted to playing. I like made such bad decisions when it came to just like school and just like life in general. Like I think as a kid, I think I was so disrespectful to my parents compared to now. Where like now I'm just like way more respectful. I just like care about more things than when I was a kid.
And see, I was like that, but I had an Xbox 360.
Right.
Modern Warfare 2.
Dude, those are the worst. Those Xbox.
But I mean, back then my phone, I couldn't sit in bed on my phone, and my mom wouldn't worry about me not falling asleep because I just had a flip phone. Flip phone. So if I'm texting, you can hear it a mile away. Click, 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 click.
If you're calling, I mean that ringtone. You ain't hiding, bro.
When it was just the 1 through 0.
Or at one point one that had the cool slide out
Oh,
keyboard.
yeah.
Hey, this kid was living in luxury when he was young.
Yeah.
Kid.
But yeah,
It's all
no.
about that phone with the walkie-talkie on it, though.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that thing was the shit, man.
You know, like
Talk
how
to
they
your
call it,
friend
because
and classroom, hey, what you
The ladybug pulling over, they like to call
Oh, the
it.
jitterbug.
Yeah.
That has 2 numbers, so you can press 1 for mom, 2 for dad. and
Yeah,
3 for 9 for
like
911.
3 for like an extra adult or something, and then 4 is
Yeah.
like your best friend.
Yeah.
And you only call them, bro, no matter what.
Alright.
But no, like, let's get back on that topic. So,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
like, have all of us, because I know you went to Boys and Girls Club, I went
Yeah.
to Boys and Girls Club, did you guys do an
I did the Y. I think like when I was young, it was all about the Y. Like I took swim lessons through the Y.
Uh-huh.
I did sports teams through the Y. I think for me it was just like the Y.
Okay.
I used to live in an apartment complex in Olympia.
Well, apartment complex.
It's on Division Street. I remember that. I don't remember. But they somewhat had like a Boys and Girls Club. Like there's
Yeah.
a little community center right there.
Yeah.
And again, they had like, you know, they had people there watching out. They had snacks.
Yeah.
They had computers. They had like chess and all that. I love
Okay.
chess.
Nice.
And then they
Oh,
like
I love
sometimes
chess,
like
dude.
in the summer they take out like these water things and like we play in like this big area that we have in all the apartments or like surrounding it.
Okay.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I had it. But then after I moved and all that, I didn't really do anything else. I
You were
kinda-
probably old enough to watch yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all I got.
See, that's when I stopped going, or when I stopped going to the Boys and Girls Club and stopped getting involved in after school activities besides like football and wrestling. That's when I started really getting in trouble.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, because I didn't want to be home, you know,
Yeah,
just
right,
on
see.
my TV. So we go do stuff like I'd go smoke weed with
Yeah.
my friends, and then we'd be
Yeah.
out in public, and then a cop walks by, and then he's like, "Hey,
Oh,
what are you
jeez.
guys doing?" I'm like, "Fuck," you know. But
Yeah.
but you know, if I would have been involved in a sport, then I wouldn't have had that opportunity to go do stupid shit. So,
I think a lot of
and I think it's through all ages too. I think freaking when you start kindergarten, as soon as you can grasp the concept of like sports or whatever, I think you should just start then.
Right.
And go up until.
And it's a
graduation.
Sports in general, like, I mean, whether you're doing it through any of these organizations or just at school, you know, or even just like a community center downtown, it's a lot better of a after school program, you know what I mean? Like, it gives you the opportunity to make friends,
Mhm.
teaches you about sports, it gives you, you know, makes your body healthy because you're playing a sport.
It gives you.
Like,
I mean,
yeah,
it gives you a good mentor. I mean, obviously, it just
Yeah.
depends on how the coach is or whatever.
Yeah.
But most places are going to give you that mentor figure as somebody to look up to.
yeah,
Whereas if you're not in any kind of activity, then you know you're not really looking up to anybody. You don't have really any authority except for your parents. And,
Yeah.
You know, no one's listening to them ever. Like, fuck you, mom, you don't know everything. Oh shit, wait, I'm gonna stop that. I wanted to read that.
censor it out. Censor it out.
Cut out.
Sorry, mom, love you.
We love mom. We love moms.
We love mom because if I don't say that, she will beat me up. That's all I'm saying. Like they're the scariest of the bunch, right? Okay.
I love you too, Dad.
I want to talk about this topic of
Wasn't for you, Dad, I won't be here.
So I want to talk about this topic of like this idea of like paying for community recreation, and I want to get like you guys' thought on this. Like, do you think like you think it's idea to like pay cheap, or is it worth it to pay expensive for community recreation, or is it like should community recreation be a free thing, like a free non-profit organization?
So-
where it's like
I think that, you know, through like the YMCA,
Yeah.
I think that should be paid because it is a private organization. I think the same for the Boys and Girls Club.
okay,
But that being said, I think that like communities in general, like I think we should be able to just roll down to the community center or something, you know, in Tumwater or Olympia, and I think there should be free. Like, you know, when I was playing sports through like Thurston County and stuff like that, you have to pay to get into the sport. You got to pay for everything. You know, you got to do all this stuff. You got to be able to get to practice. I think that it should be easier, and if not free, I think that it should be a lot cheaper to do because
yes, easier
you know,
actually. Yeah.
if it were free or, you know, less expensive, you know, there was so many kids that I knew that couldn't do it because their parents either couldn't pay for it, their parents couldn't get them there, you know what I mean? Like, if it was more attainable, you know what I mean, it'd be better overall because it would help more people.
I want to touch on that because I'm on this one of my articles
Yeah.
on ProQuest called
Yeah.
"Improving Population Health Through Integration of Primary Care and Public Health and Providing Access to Physical Activity for Community Health Center Patients," which is one of my solidly peer reviewed articles on ProQuest. and they were doing this. They're partnered up with YMCA, right? And they were doing this thing where it's like, if they were trying to see if how many patients, so they like took up a number of people, how many people would actually show up if the exercise was free, the gym was free, compared to if they had to do a copay of $10 per month.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the results, of course, they found that after, so for first, like, I think it was first month, no, they didn't pay, right? And they found, like, everyone would go, of course, some people would drop out, but like, that's, like, normal, right?
Yeah.
You expect it. And then later, when they introduced that copay of $10 a month, what they found out was, let's see, right here, 80% of all prior exercising patients just stopped attending. So that $10 per month, 80% dropped out. This is back in 2012.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and of course, it was just like a study in 2012. So the statistics obviously would change way more compared to now. This is just planning on how much money was being made back then and how much it fluctuated, obviously. But even though when like the 8% stopped attending, they had like this huge statistic of people who just enjoyed exercise in general, and they came back. So I want to talk to you guys on this. So like when you talk about it, so you think that it should be like free for?
I think like community.
It should be access for communities.
Like the YMCA, you know, I understand why that can't be
that.
free because like you know there's people that work there,
Yeah.
they gotta pay their own bills. But like I think if it's like, you know, like playing baseball through Thurston County or playing a basketball team through Thurston County, you know, that you used to get those little flyers and like you know from school or something saying, oh, sign up for this. But then you get there, you gotta pay like $50, and you gotta pay another $50. You gotta find your way to where the practice is gonna be, you know. I think stuff like that should not be $50. I think that it should either be free or just at least extremely reduced so that more kids, because I knew a lot of kids in in elementary school that were, you know, their parents didn't make enough money or their parents didn't have a car, you know, or something like that. I think that it should be easier to, like, it should be more broad form for everyone, you know what I mean? I don't think that any kid should be left out of a sport just because they can't pay to play the sport.
I think the things like we touched on that is like you know parks, like outside parks. I feel like years ago more people would be outside on parks and just like I feel like parks is the idea of like community recreation that's free and like where people just come together. Like obviously it's gonna be hard if you like it's gonna be hard to like obviously I feel like community recreation would be like awesome if it could be accessible for every community. It was free, but it's hard to like build a building or something that's like, you know, not paid for. Then you have to like
everything.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. That's like with a park, you know. It's that idea. It's like it was built there for the community, and it's for nowadays you see obviously less people going outside, and it kind of sucks because
that's like Discovery Pass. I feel like in like half the parks around here, you gotta buy a $35 Discovery Pass.
Yeah, for like the state parks or whatever.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like I mean Miller Sylvania. I remember just going there as a kid, and then they. Well, I don't think it's a law, but you know they instated that rule that you have to have a Discovery Pass now. You know, if I go there, a ranger sees me, that's like a $210 ticket just for going to the park.
Exactly. I feel like it should
and
be
that's
more
a state park. That's state taxes that I pay. You know, I'm not getting into the whole tax.
Politics.
We'll go into that now. Obviously. Well,
but
maybe the next podcast. Okay.
But I mean, on the other side of that, though, you know, around in Olympia, especially like you know, there's Sylvester, there's down by Capitol Lake. You can go to. I always want to say Point Defiance, Priest Point, out on Priest Point, and then there's Burfoot, you know, Ptolemy's another, that's one that that's a state park, you gotta have a Discovery Pass. See, and that's the thing is that, you know, we got good parks right in this area.
Yeah, we have some great parks in Washington, and I wish that more people knew about them.
Around Olympia, you know, just outside where all the, like, you know, it really gets foresty and really pretty, you gotta pay to go to those parks, you gotta buy that $35 Discovery Pass, which it's okay, you know, I have one, but like, you know, I just think it's a little ridiculous.
Like I get it.
I live in the state, you know, I help maintain the parks, you know, I have to pay to go visit my own park. It's like, I mean, just going to Mount Rainier too, you know, you drive up there, a ranger sees that's another $210 ticket for just sitting there with no Discovery Pass.
But the thing though about, so the whole thing with the state parks and having Discovery Pass and like why we have to pay for recreational sports and stuff, I feel like the main problem is the people, like the bad apples.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like say Boys and Girls Club, they just said, hey, we have a sports team, anybody's welcome, whoever wants to join, no cost or anything. Say somebody comes in, always late to practice, maybe influencing others to do, like say, drink alcohol during practice instead of actually going to practice, and then they're dragging others into that. That's the only problem I could see with it being like a problem with doing free stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's always gonna be an issue with that. Like, it sucks.
Right.
It really sucks that
you can't-
the people like it's like
You can't
that,
tell
you know.
about people, you know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can't tell
So
one
you
person
just punish
no
the whole
because-
public by
Yeah.
putting a price tag on
Yeah,
it.
and it sucks, but like it's how it kind of has to be.
Right.
Like you have to understand it that like you have to understand like to look at it like of course there would be like you wish that like everyone could be like at like look at it the same. Where like if everyone could be like nice and whatever, no whatnot, no matter what, they could like cause the idea of like okay, then it could be free. But
Right.
since this just like society, just people were just so split among each other. And like we're always gonna be like people were like you take advantage of others no matter what it is. Maybe it's like how you were raised, how it is, whatever it is.
Right.
That's when you have to like draw the line and you have to like, and it sucks, but you can't really just like there's nicer people who get to pay cheaper. You can't do that because you don't know, right?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can never know. You can never tell. It's like everyone's taking a freaking polygraph. Like this kid's a bad kid, bro. He lying.
I just think in general, like, you know, I think like you were saying, you know, with the YMCA doing that free for a bit, and then like, you know, all those people dropped out. I don't think that necessarily it's only sports or anything. I think that every community should have, you know, at least like a little center that people can hang out in. You know, that's not for like, you know, that's not paid to go to. You know, you can like, but you can interact with people around you. Like basically, like, you know, I don't know how to explain.
I think that's no, I agree.
Like a little park, you know, a park's a good example,
So like,
but like
when you're like,
there's
there's a place like that where you can like bond with each other in community, right? That's like, I feel like that's like when the good ideas come out for your community. You can like strengthen a community. Like we should build this here. Like maybe we can like pitch together, make a money, make a fundraiser to build something, right? And then that's like.
and it
then
creates
you're
that
like,
culture, you
that
know.
culture, yeah, and that's why you know.
It's like colleges, you know, you go to
Yeah.
Evergreen, people at Evergreen are different from here because they all attend Evergreen, they have a culture. You know what I mean? Or most college campuses, you know, you go to UW, people from UW, you can tell they're from UW because they're from UW. People from Wazoo,
Got the hoodie
Saw,
on,
bro.
got the hoodie on, bro. The W, it's all the purple, bro.
But like, I just think like, you know, Olympia has a very specific, you know, like feel to it. You know a lot of people. You can tell when someone's from Olympia, and it's different because like, you know, either they're really far to like one side really hippie, or they're really far to the other side where they're very like prim and like dressed up, done up. But I think like if you had that space, you know, like let's say Sylvester Park, you know, if that was just like a community center, you know, and people hung out there and like it was free to attend, you know, different things, you know, like shows and stuff like that, people would really mix, you know, and it would really give that like, I don't know what am I trying to say. Positive vibe. Yeah. It would help people
Positive
like
vibes.
understand, you know what I mean? Like learn from people, you know, like
On the community part, this is kind of off topic, but on topic as community. I play Pokemon Go, right? And I usually play in the summer because I don't have school, so like, I actually have time for that. For me as a person, I normally would not meet the people when I play Pokemon Go.
yeah.
Oh,
Out
yeah,
of the-
that was huge.
Like,
you guys know what I'm talking about?
I go
Yeah,
on
I
like
know.
raids or something, and there'd be 20 people there,
Yeah.
and I would never see them or ever talk to them in public if it weren't for Pokemon Go. And I think that's like one of those things that kind of brings the community together and strengthens them. And like we'll go on different raids together, and we'll talk, and then we like add each other on Facebook or something.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
that's,
I think that
Which
was
is
like
funny because it's just an app on your phone, right?
Yeah,
And then all of a
exactly.
sudden you know all these people. It's
Exactly.
like,
I remember like huge news coverage about that because like it's released in the summer, right? So it's like good weather obviously around. I actually remember seeing so many people downtown. Like you know, I remember you talking about it earlier. You know, downtown is different nowadays. Like you can't just walk down there and feel safe anymore.
Right.
But that Pokemon Go thing, it was huge downtown, and there were so many people. You felt safe because there was like this giant community.
Right.
It's everywhere, no matter where you went, you see people on the
just a bunch
phone
of
just
homeless
catching
people, too.
Exactly. Yeah. It was
Homeless people were like,
it was homeless people. It was homeless people, like, but they found a way to buy a phone. So it was homeless people bought a phone and they were playing Pokemon Go with you.
like everyone's
4G
nice,
too.
you know?
Yeah, bro, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that summer for me was probably one of the best summers I've had ever had.
Well, it's
like,
like-
no matter if you don't play it or not, you just met people. Like, if you just wanted to walk downtown, because obviously back then I couldn't drive. I was young, right? I don't know if you guys probably still drive. I couldn't. So whenever I get to walk, I get to bike downtown with my friends. You just get to meet so many people and you just like chill there.
yeah.
Cause there's like some like nice like restaurants downtown. Like there's like that one ice cream, Grandpa's ice cream. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Grandpa's ice cream.
By
yeah.
Lake.
I
There's a
found
lot
that
of
because
kids.
of Pokemon
Yeah.
Go.
There's a lot of kids who don't know the stuff like that, like the downtown where
Well,
Olympia has
there's a
some
lot-
cool stuff downtown.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, but like a lot of people don't know that nowadays because it's so
Dude, that's why I'm
Yeah,
going to
it's
school for civil engineering because I want to rebuild downtown. Or
Yeah, no.
help rebuild downtown.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many good shops. Like you're saying,
There's
so many
so-
good shops.
there's
and
a lot- yeah,
restaurants,
and there's,
but
like-
they all look
yeah,
run down
yeah.
because of the buildings
Exactly.
that are there.
Yeah.
And
Nobody
then there was
wants
like
to go
this
to
community, and like if there's like people who actually like like Pokemon Go, where people would actually show others that there is like something like this downtown. Then so many people would more know about it, and then just spread. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, it spreads, and then people have these new ideas to like, oh, let's make Olympia better. Let's like revise it,
Yeah.
and then like all these new ideas come, and then like yeah, exactly, right. So yeah, so
Well, it's like you were saying about biking downtown. I completely just thought about this. When I was going to Rochester, I transferred in the 8th grade. I used to ride BMX, so I'd have my bike, and I met a lot of people in Rochester that did the same. And we would, have someone give us a ride down to the skate park in Centralia. And I met more people there. And, when I was going to school before I went to the skate park, all I would hear people say is like, oh, don't go there, you're going to hang out with like the wrong people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to start smoking weed, stuff like that. I never once did. I saw people do it, but, the people that I spent my time with at the skate park were some of the greatest guys I've ever met, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we were all just like really into it. I wasn't very good, I could like 180. It's about it, but like
it didn't matter, right?
But yeah,
It didn't matter.
and like they would push me to do that. Like I had friends that could backflip, all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, no, that's like another community resource, I guess, is just somewhere to like hang out like that, and like.
Alright, so I want to make sure you guys know this. So, in one of our instructions for this podcast, we have to like in our conversation with the site, like one source, like exactly like do this, like it said this. So I did it earlier with the progress one. I just want you guys each to know you have to do it, I think, at least once to get our points. So I'll let you guys know that. So as we keep talking, you guys can like.
I got this. I'm about to
How did you
segue
start?
into fitness right here.
I got one because of the Yum Boys and Girls.
Yeah, so we're just like, guys, make sure to put it in there as we go on.
So on the topic of parking and all that, there's this park in my neighborhood, and they recently just built like a fitness thing, like where like you can do chin-ups, dips, you can like do ab workouts and all that. I think that's really cool.
Or they the like little like machines out machines, but like little things outside.
Yeah.
That's like Miller Savannah has the same thing. They have a trail that like every I think it's every 50 yards. There's another one that you can like it's like it'll be like not like a teeter totter, but something you could do like push-ups on or like pull-ups on or like you can like they're cool.
I think that's dope to give the community like a access to at least like some exercise, because like a lot of gym memberships,
Are
like
pretty
this
expensive.
including like the YMCA, are like pretty expensive.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
at
it's
LA
crazy.
Fitness is like $25. It doesn't sound that bad until you hear the initiation fee, which is like $100, and then they throw everything up on there.
Well, it's like Thorbeck's. I used to have a membership at Thorbeck's, which is in Centralia. They have like a gym, they got a pool, they got everything, and it's all included. But like, they say the same thing. It's $35 a month or whatever, and then you sign up for it. Next thing you know, you're paying $98 a month.
Yeah.
Because they got all these hidden fees. You're paying for you're like if you want to be able to have 24-hour access, which I do because I work nights.
Exactly.
Then you have access to the pool on top of that, which is undisputed. I guess you can't take that off of there.
Yep.
And then,
it's extra, of course,
Yeah. So they then it's all this stuff. It's a good gym, but it's expensive. So it is nice to know that there are places but it's also right next to Boris Park, which has the same kind of thing. They have like little machines outside that you can like exercise on. They have trails for running. They even have a track that you can run on.
And according to the Human and Health or Department of Human Health Services of the United States, only like 1 out of 3 children are like physically active, and I don't know. That could be due to like kids not having the resources or just like not wanting to, but
Technology.
a lot
A lot of big variables.
I don't know, but I think it was 28% of kids 20% of anyone in the United States don't like or shoot, cut this out for me. 28% of all people in the United States are physically active every day.
Yeah.
And
We
that's
could
it.
check the
it.
statistics from when that article was written. Do you know? Does it sound right?
I have to check that one.
Because in case was written, we could like guess. Because obviously, I feel like if it's past a certain year, like a few years ago, then it starts to become technology. But before then, it could not.
2017.
2017. Yeah, 2017. I'd say technology. Yeah,
Well, I
feel
mean,
like
it's because kids get that instant gratification. You know, anyone, not even just kids. You know, you post something on Instagram, you get all these likes. Like, you don't necessarily think about it, but like, I mean, like that makes you feel good because like,
it does, yeah. It's like, oh, people like something I posted.
Most of the
like,
time, people are just on autopilot mode. Just like,
as opposed to
Tinder.
as opposed to playing, you know, basketball or like, you know, sport or working out where you like, you know, you feel great after you do it.
Yeah.
But and one's like a lot, you know, one's way easier. You just post a picture on Instagram or you post a tweet, you know, you post something on Facebook, get all these likes, and you're like, oh, I feel good. But like,
I'm a social
the other
media
one,
influencer.
you know, the other one, you gotta work kind of hard for it, and then next thing, you know, you get done with your workout or you get done playing whatever, you might feel like shit because you're like, you know, whatever, but like your head, you know, you just feel so worked.
A lot of
and it
kids
feels
nowadays, like, they don't want to work for the benefits.
good. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
everyone
they
just
just want the
kind of,
benefits.
they just want the benefits. They don't
Exactly.
think about the hardship that people go through.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe they look at this successful person, they're like, damn, I wish I could be like that. But then, like, they don't go out and actively, like, pursue what
Try
they want
to
to
be
do.
like-
And then they like try to shortcut their way
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
And like, shortcutting your way through, it could have worked too, but it works to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And then if it backfires double, like 2 times as worse than if you just like didn't try it all, right? I mean, so.
So the other day I was with my niece and I'm all playing on my computer, right? And
Yeah.
she comes over and asks me to play. And so I'm like, yeah, sure, but I need you to get some homework done first. So she's like, ah. So I give her homework assignments and she's not getting it, you know, it's hard for her and stuff. And then so I sit down and all she wants to do is just play the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as a
And
kid,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I don't care about this. I already did my homework. And it's like, yeah, but you're struggling on this. Like, we need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So we finally like sat down and like did it all, and she was finally understanding it, and she was doing homework more than she was playing the game because that was more rewarding because she put in the effort and she saw the benefits from
right
putting
away.
in that effort
Yeah.
rather than just going on a video game and like, okay, I was just on there for an hour. Like, what did that benefit my life?
No.
But I feel like it's like this idea of like nowadays people would like it's hard for people to see the benefits like in the future because they're so focused on what like joy in the like in the
In the
present,
now,
right?
yeah.
It's like when you play a game, right?
School's
That,
great,
yeah,
so-
when you play a game, you want to play the game because it provides you so much joy in that present time. Like the time you start the game, the time you end the game, like between that time, you play a game. So like let's say for example, you do homework. Okay, if you instead of doing homework later, you do it like at the end of the day, you want to play your game instead. If you did your homework earlier, well then you're looking at the benefit of finishing it early and then having the rest of the night to do whatever you want. But you can't see that benefit because you want to just you want to have fun.
You just want to go
Yeah.
for it. Yeah.
So then instead you play the game now, and then afterward, then you're just getting sad because then you have to do homework now, and then you're like it's like
well,
late
and
at
see,
night.
that,
and
that's
whatever.
something that took me a really long time to learn. You know, when I was
Yeah, I still struggle with it.
Yeah,
now.
when
It's
I
like-
was like when I was still in high school, you know, my freshman year, I did terrible. You know, because I would just go home and play video games all day. And I remember getting to the point. I think it was like probably towards the end of my freshman year, and I was playing like Skyrim or something. And I'm sitting there, I'm like halfway through the game, and I was like, this is really boring. Like I'm tired of it. I played way too much of it, so I turned it off. Went and did all my missing assignments for my algebra class. Somehow passed all my classes. Because all my first quarter of high school, you know, freshman year, I failed almost every class except for like PE and my English class, and even then, those were only with like C's. Even PE, you know what I mean? Next one comes up, you know, it's almost the end of the year, like I said. So I passed, but it was all straight C's, and then since then I was just like. Even now, like, you know, I love video games, but I can't play for more than like 30, 45 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
I just get so bored with it or tired. Even if my friends are on, like, max I can play is like 2 hours and I gotta get off.
Yeah.
And I always, the older I get, the more I like do my homework before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I couldn't like
sorry.
I couldn't like
You're good.
I could play games like 6 hours straight
Yeah.
5 years ago, and then now I feel like if I ever want to play like actually for a long time, I have to play with my friends, or just like you know. Have
And
to,
even
like,
then, like, you know, like I said,
so-
like, I can play for a long time, like if I'm really into a game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the other thing on top of that is if I play for a long time, I have to know, like, in the back of my head, you know, I have to remember what I've already finished, you know, like,
Yeah, I got
if
shit
I
to
want
do.
to play all night, you know, I gotta make sure, one, I don't have class in the morning or work, two, that I've already finished all my homework for the day or the week, you know what I mean? Like, I want to make sure, and if I haven't finished for the week, I want to make sure that I can, like, you know, have time the next day or something to do that.
Yeah.
Like last night, I kind of broke my own rule here, but last night I played like I played that Warzone on and dude, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I played it with my friends until like probably 2 a.m. So I'm like, I drank a Red Bull on the way here, luckily. But I mean, like, I had all my homework done and everything, so I was like, why not enjoy myself? And like, they didn't hop on until like probably 10:30. So I was like,
You know what? I think I found out. Like, I feel like it's more addicting than just like video games. I feel like I obviously, talking about how as we grow older, we talk about we play video games less.
Yeah.
But I feel like people like one thing that stay consistent is like watching YouTube and just like Netflix or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about?
I
Like,
spend hours.
Exactly. And it like drains time.
yeah,
But
and
like,
you don't realize.
you don't realize it.
Yeah.
Well, and then you're like, I'm
Next
just-
thing you know,
I'm
you're
not
6
playing
videos in, and you're like, it's like 6 hours go by.
And it sucks. Like, it really does. Because like, I feel like I'd rather spend that time doing more productive stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But then I just find myself on my phone watching YouTube.
Well, and see,
it
that's
sucks.
Those Facebook videos are bad too.
It's anything in general.
Those
Like,
threads, bro,
Yeah.
To bring us back to like the community resource thing is that like the older I get, the more I'd like to spend outside. You know what I mean? So I, like we were just talking about, you could spend all day watching YouTube, but when I wake up in the morning, if it's nice out like it is today, I will get up and I will go to a park and I'll run around and go do everything, or I'll even just walk downtown. I'll just come park downtown and just walk around and take pictures with my camera.
Just enjoy the sun.
Yeah, I'll go get something to eat and walk around. Even if it's not nice out, I'll go see a movie or something, or go to the mall and just kind of like shop around, even if I don't have that much money. I just don't like, if the sun is up and it's bright outside, I don't like being in my room. You know what I mean?
I like the weather now.
I don't know what it is, because again, when I was younger, I could stay inside all summer long, and play video games. But the older I get, more I'm like, okay, I gotta go do something.
It's
I'll
just
walk.
wisdom, man.
Yeah, right. And like, I will literally spend all day just walking around a park, listening to music, or like, you just sitting there looking at out on the bay.
Peaceful.
Yeah.
It's
Alright,
relaxing.
we're probably getting off a little off topic here. Right?
Yeah,
Well, no, but
let's tie back.
that means
let's
that
tie
brought us
back.
back to the community
Yeah, let's
resources.
tie back, let's
It's
tie
like,
back.
that
Alright,
gives us parks and everything. I spend time out,
Right.
instead of playing video games.
So since we have to say something specific out of
Yeah,
our
out of our
source, so when I was talking about like how teens nowadays are like really tech savvy and stuff, that really can help out the community, because one of the sources that I found was from Facebook. It's called Brian on
From
Scouting.
Facebook. Oh, shit.
So Facebook's main page, the
Yeah.
Boy Scouts, they have like a bunch of different links.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, so
makes
I
sense.
went to one that was called Brian on Scouting. And basically they just set up this thing for teens and youth to help teach senior citizens how to use their smartphones. Because a lot of senior citizens don't know how to use smartphones, or they don't know how to get the resources to be able to use it. Like
I had to do the same thing. I had to teach my grandma how to use their
Exactly.
iPhone.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool how that's really impacting on the community, because they're taking time out of their daily activities, and it's still a learning process.
Oh, yeah.
Because also, what did it say?
Can only record
had this
this quality
really good
for only about 4
quote.
minutes before it cuts out. So, my words
It was basically saying, hold on, I want to read it word for word.
I'm just gonna leave it there still and make it look like a movie.
My camera's pushing 53 minutes, boys.
53 minutes, yeah.
Okay, so the purpose of the Boy Scouts movement was to help gain social skills outside of the Boy Scouts and into everyday culture. The training proceeds more fundamentally by a process of emotional conditioning rather than intellectual enlightenment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's trying to like teach kids by like getting them out there in the everyday life and having it show how it affects them rather than just telling them how it affects them. So I thought that was pretty cool and pretty like mind opening, because that's very true. Even with like the workplace now, like you can sit down in a class and read about engineering for 2 years. It's not going to be the same education as if you were to just go in the field and work for 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that the Boy Scouts teaches, and Boys and Girl Scouts really is community. Just teaches them.
It gives you that relationship, you know what I mean? Like, it teaches you how to build a healthy relationship, as opposed to like, I can't say this for sure, but if you're a kid and you don't have anyone other than your parents and your family, you know what I mean? Like, and you don't hang out with anyone, you know what I mean? You're going to grow up different. You're going to have different relationships. You're going to finally come into contact with people you don't know, and you're going to kind of be like standoffish. I don't know how to act. It's like all of us. We blend pretty well because like we've all had some way to build a healthy relationship. You know what I mean? So like. I don't look at any of us and think like, oh, what are these guys thinking about me? Or like, I don't get self-conscious talking in my head. It gives you it's easier to build a relationship. Is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. It's a good icebreaker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, with an example, real life example, this man just walked in their group and was like, "Hey, can I join this group?"
Exactly.
That got us to where we are now.
Yeah,
so
right.
That works.
You
can imagine you with any other group.
Bro, you're gonna be so bored right now.
You walked up and were like, I think you guys are funny. Can I join?
I told him my thought process, and I might have told him too. I was like, so in our English class, okay, it's off topic, but let it happen. They were like, I saw like, of course, so I always sat in the back, right, for everyone, and everyone is like this super quiet back there, it's like just alert. And then when I heard about this group project that we're doing, this podcast, like this is a community thing, we're just like, not a community, but like we're just like talking together and stuff, and we're just forming groups. I looked around and I was like, okay, I know like people are gonna divide, so like of course there's already friends in the class, right? But like, and I know that like this is gonna happen. They're playing like because the quieter kids in the back playing, but I'm like, I don't want to be a part of that. Like I want to be like in a group where like. I want to be in a group of like 3 clowns and like just saying dumb stuff, right? Yeah, exactly. I want to be the 4th clown. So I looked around, I saw the front, I saw the 3 of you. I'm like, this is it. like these 3 in the front, like I know if I make a podcast with these 3, it's gonna be freaking hilarious. It's gonna be good. Like it's gonna be some good quality content. And I was like, I'm going there.
You know what's funny though is that's what I've noticed about. I don't know about you guys, but every single class I take, it's the same thing. Quiet people up front, the interactive people, interactive people up front, and all the quiet people in the back. So that's why I always try to go in the front because you just get a better interaction up front than you do in the back. And it's so funny, like before this podcast, like the outlook that we have on our classmates, it's so different than actually now I'm engaged with you guys and like interacting. And it's completely.
Yeah,
different.
I honestly couldn't imagine if I like chose anyone else and like
right?
what I'd be talking about. I feel like it should be like silent and dead.
Or serious.
I'm gonna cut that out so no one hates me in that classroom.
We're gonna have to edit this so much because like I said, I got 53 minutes rolling already.
Yeah, and I had to keep come on like 10 minutes, but let's just keep going here. I think we're gonna wrap it up in about like 10 minutes later a bit. Then we can just wrapping it up and stuff.
I mean, do we have?
You guys want to take
I feel like we got.
Let's take a little break.
We're gonna talk a break and we can start again.
Break.
Okay, yeah, let's done. Yeah.
I don't know. I talked about everything I need.
Alright, so I feel like just to end it off, we just like answer the whole why is it significant, like why is community recreation so significant, and then we just end it right there afterward. Alright, well, so let's start it off. So let's just go around the table and talk about it. What was the question? So why is community recreation so significant?
Why is community recreation so significant? It helps keep teens and adolescents out of trouble and gives them something to focus on, and it creates character development.
It's really good. I'm pretty much gonna say the same thing. Boys and girls Club especially, like we were talking about earlier, it really gives kids like every tool they need to be an adult. It teaches you healthy relationships. They'll teach you how to, nutrition, facts, computers, like I was saying when I was there. There's academic success. They give you all the tools you need to be successful in who you are.
And for me, I think, it's a great place to develop a good, healthy lifestyle. It helps you develop a strong mind, do like leadership and stuff. And then when you're a kid and you're younger, it helps cultivate values and skills and make relationships that lead to great positive behaviors, better health and person skills and people skills, and then educational achievement since you're learning so much through.
Damn, I should go last. I'll take out the good ones. I mean, to me, it's the fitness part, like living a better healthy lifestyle, getting kids more engaged with the community, getting connected with the community, getting relationships with people, like, making friends and having that social aspect of your life instead of, staying at home and playing games in the room and all that.
Right.
Alright. Yeah, that's where we ended, boys.
And that was
Glacier
Glacier
Podcast.
Glacier Podcast.
Well, actually, that was time to get
Aaron to teach 102.
Like for episode 2.
Yeah, like
for
we'll be back. Next time we're going to discuss about why we have depression, each one of us. We're going to have a special guest starring Jolene Amron, and why she should teach 102.
Shout out to Jolene.
Shout out
Amron.
We all love you.
Best
Bye.
102 teacher.
Bye.
My fuck.
Yeah.